Hi friends! In this video, I'll be sharing tools that help me heal my jealousy wounds. When I was in college, I had two friends that I introduced to one another, and in the beginning we would all always hang out together, and then eventually, over time, they started hanging out without me. I noticed that it made me feel jealous, and so at that time I was working with an energy work practitioner, and I'll refer to her as my teacher. My teacher explained to me that jealousy has less to do with paying attention to what other people are up to, and more so to do with a feeling of inadequacy within ourselves. Jealousy comes from a place within ourselves that doesn't feel like we're enough. So after explaining this to me, and because I had a desire to work on my jealous tendencies, my teacher guided me through a session of inner child work where I connected to a very potent, and up until that point, forgotten memory that I had of myself as a child where I felt extremely rejected. In my memory, I was around 6 years old and I was hanging out with the kids in the neighborhood, and I felt ugly and weird and that no one liked me. I don't even know if there was anything specifically done to me that led me to feel this way, but I remember feeling very left out of the group activities. So in that moment, I internalized all of these feelings of rejection and decided that there was something wrong with me. I don't know if you've ever experienced inner child work before for yourself, and I'd love to do a video on it one day. But essentially, in inner child work, there's a process that's followed in order to facilitate the healing. And so as my teacher was guiding me through the session, we went from holding space for and validating all of these feelings of rejection that I had within myself to eventually fulfilling the needs that I had as a child that were not met then. This involved a lot of presence, creating an environment for my inner child to safely feel like she could express herself. And in my case, a lot of affirmations to give my inner child the love and reassurances that she needed to hear back then that were not available to her before. After the session, I felt like a wound that I've had that was aching inside of me was finally being nursed. And so that was a huge relief. Learning these tools really helped me navigate my relationships moving forward. And in the case of my two friends who hung out without me, I felt like, honestly, that wasn't such a big deal to me. It's just what triggered these feelings that had already been present inside myself. Going through that experience taught me a lot of valuable lessons, which I would love to share. With true self-love, self-esteem, and self-confidence, it is not at all to do with believing that you are better than anyone else. It's not about comparing yourself to others and feeling like you're coming out on top. For me, to heal jealousy is almost to release all other people from your focus and instead turn inward. To truly build self-confidence is to recognize that who you are at your core, your divine, unique essence, can never, ever be replicated by anyone else. That's the very nature of authentic energies. They are completely and solely, uniquely yours. When I keep that in mind, any feelings of competition or comparison diminish because I remember that it's not about anyone else. To heal jealousy is to look inward. It's to turn inward and to recognize yourself and to love yourself and realize that you are already whole. Understanding authentic energies also teaches us that because our authentic energies are so tailored to each individual person specifically, they're so uniquely and completely individual, it means that they can't be for everyone. Not everyone is going to see you. And bearing that in mind, will you still choose to see yourself? When you're in your authentic power, the people who are meant for you will find you. And if they, for some reason, don't find you, you can always, again and again, find yourself. And I'm not trying to promote a hyper-independent self-love where you put your walls up so no one else has to love you because you can love yourself. I'm more so asking, can you turn to yourself when no one else recognizes you and meet yourself with love again and again? When you do this work, you're still, of course, going to experience feelings of jealousy. I know that I do. I think it's a very human emotion, so I don't want to feel shame around feeling jealous. I just want to be able to use the tools that are available to me to help me work through it. And so I have a very clear example of how jealousy still comes up in my regular life, actually. So I have a hot yoga membership, and I noticed that when I'm in yoga class, sometimes I start to feel really competitive with the people around me, and I want to be the best in the class. And it's so weird that I make it this competition that no one else is actively participating in. And it makes me question within myself, are you good, sis? Why do you feel the need to outshine everyone? Why are you pressed that someone over there is doing yoga harder than you? Why are you so preoccupied with everyone else and how other people perceive you and getting validation from everyone else? Why are you feeling so jealous? Why are you comparing yourself so much? And whenever I notice myself getting that way, I stop myself and I just start talking to myself kindly. And again, I want to mention, it's not about saying, wow, Mika, you're so good, you're better than the person next to you. It's just, Mika, I believe in you. Mika, I see you're working really hard. That was challenging. Good job. It has nothing to do with comparing yourself to other people. It's about recognizing yourself. When I do that and I'm in class and I just give myself these pep talks and I solely focus on myself, not in an egotistical way, but just in a pure, loving way, I feel great afterwards. And I notice these walls that I have up and all this competition energy around me, it drops because it doesn't matter. It's not about anyone else. It's about you. I'm also not saying that there's no such thing as healthy competition, and I do think it's fine that we get motivated by others, but I do think that there's sometimes a very subtle line between, finding inspiration from others to push ourselves to do our best, and then finding a lack within ourselves and trying to fill that lack with validation from other people. When we're feeling envious of others, it's usually because we have feelings of lack within ourselves. And when we can recognize that within ourselves, there are a few great questions that we can begin to ask. Where is this coming from? What part of myself is feeling inadequate? Is this the first time I've felt this way? Is there anything that part of myself needs to release, whether that's limiting beliefs or maybe even inauthentic energies that's holding me back from being able to transform? And finally, what are this part's needs? What can I give myself or resource in order to help this part feel more comforted, self-assured, and confident? I hope those questions help. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. I really appreciate all of your likes, comments, subscriptions, all of the above. It really helps my small channel grow. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for trusting me and thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye!